This particular document we just discovered maybe 3 weeks ago or so. And what the document talks about is, oh, you got, thank you, I can do it for you.
Okay.
Okay, so what the town manager is saying is the purpose of this document is because it's in response to community concerns about the way assessments have been done. The second paragraph talks about on February 18th, you know, maybe you can push it closer. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay. So the second paragraph starts off talking about they had a meeting on February 18th and discussed a plan to temporarily suspend.
Just trying to make it higher so
Okay,
you can
good.
go back and see it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, this is to temporarily suspend revocations of tax exemptions until October 1st, 2022. And this was what she considered a purely administrative action, and they wanted to do it before the BAA process begins to cut down on the number of appeals. So basically, she's telling Todd to suspend revocations until next grand list. So whoever you've revoked so far, that's okay. But just don't revoke anymore for now because it may be too much for the BAA and for them to handle. Then he goes to the next paragraph and she talks about specific nonprofits. And so she talked about Mount Carmel over here. And she said that they had a meeting with the Mount Carmel Society and that she felt that that they deserved to continue to have their exemption. And they had brought in a calendar and she thought they were all set. So it's her expectation that their exemption is going to be restored. And then, remember, this is going to Todd. So she's telling them restore it for Mount Carmel. And then the second one that she talks about is the Moose Lodge. And the Fraternal Order of Moose had been, was tax exempt for many years, at least 10 or maybe more. And however, she supports the conclusion of Todd that theirs should be revoked. And that's that. Now, meanwhile, she says they've had meetings with the Moose also for an hour and a half or whatever it was with their people and her people. So at this stage, both of those charities, Todd denied anyway, and he took their exemptions away. They both appealed to the BAA, and the BAA heard all the evidence and ruled in their favor and restored the exemptions. So, but the way it got there for the Moose Club, I think people should know what's going on, especially town council members. So, with the Moose, is it out there?
Yes.
Oh, good, okay, yeah, so the next screen over there, a poster, okay, that's a letter from the Moose Club, or Moose Lodge, Thompsonville Moose Lodge, dated August 4th, 2023, to whom it may concern. It's given to us, actually, with permission to use their name, talk about this, and let people know what happened to them. So the first paragraph, they confirm what I already told you. They met with the town manager, the assessor, and 4 other people to try and mediate their tax status with the town. When they met, they brought in a number of documents and gave 400 pages to the town. So the town has the Moose documents. By the town, I'm saying the town manager at this point. They left that meeting after an hour and a half and weren't sure if they were going to have to go on appeal or they were getting their tax exemption restored. But anyway, they left the word that if they had to appeal and had to go to the BAA, they wanted the manager and the assessor to share all the documents with the Board of Appeals. So when they did come in for their hearing, they saw Lori. I'm going to give this back to her in a minute. But they said in this, this would be the third to the bottom paragraph, where it says, oh no, excuse me. I gotta go point. Okay, right here where it says, I find it unconscionable that we spent so much time with the town manager and the assessor and provided them with so much documentation, they did not forward it to or provide any of the documents that we had given them. The reason that's important is when we take an appeal from taxpayers, it's the burden of proof is on the taxpayer. So if we don't have any documents from the Moose Club, they lose. So, and the last sentence in this is that we authorize the BAA to publicly discuss the matter, including the release of this letter and any other non-privileged material. So I'm going to give it to Lori now to tell her how we handled this appeal when they came before us.
Thank you. I highlighted this as one of my 15 issues. And if anybody was at the last meeting, and I pointed to this file that I keep saying that I gave to Mario Capolo and went over this for 6.5 to 7 hours, the Moose Club was one of the 15 that were in this file. I was so bothered by the whole thing that I lost sleep over it. These 400 documents were being withheld from us, and I kept asking staff over and over every time, where are these documents? They turn these documents in at the town manager's office. Does Todd have them? Does the town manager have them? Every single meeting, I ask the same questions over and over. I finally, on the second to the last day of our appeal hearings, I was only after I said I was going to go up to the town manager's office myself and look for them, I was told that I would be able to get them. They brought the 400 documents to our hearing. They told me that I could look at them, but that I couldn't take them from the building. So I literally had to stop doing appeals hearings and go through each one of those appeals. This was very important because unless we saw these documents, we would have had to deny them their exempt status. The documents proved that they were entitled to their tax exempt status, and we were able to allow their exempt status to continue. The BAA was returning to them what they already had for years. But then they were knocked out a second year in a row. But this time they didn't even really realize that they were being knocked out a second time. Again, I requested these documents. I was given them again just to look at. And even after I was told that I told the staff that the Moose Club stated that these documents were for the BAA, I was really so bothered that I actually mentioned this in an email to the deputy mayor, because I felt like the town manager was hiding documents that she was trying to get us to deny this tax exempt to the Moose Club.
Thank you, Lori. So I'm going to refer, well, what we just talked about is on pages 8 through 19 of the materials that you're going to get. And then one other thing I wanted to add, because I wasn't sure if the assessor was holding the documents back or it was the town manager, but in looking at the interview that the lawyers did with Todd, we took out excerpts, and these will appear in your package too. And if you look at Todd's excerpt on pages 25 and 26, he's asked about the Moose Club documents. So one of the attorneys, his name is Matthew. Matthew says, I wanted to briefly discuss the Moose Lodge. That issue, there was an allegation that the property owner, in that case, a charitable entity, provided 400 plus documents to the town manager, and that those documents were ultimately not made available to the BAA. A request was made, and I believe they were told that Vicky brought the documents down on one of the last days of the BAA hearings, but the BAA members were told you can't keep these, so they may have had an opportunity to briefly review them, but they were not provided copies of whatever documents were provided. Do you have any recollection of this, or an explanation of the withholding of the documents? Todd, I do recall having a meeting with the Moose Lodge members, the representatives, the town manager, myself. They did bring in a lot of documents. You'd have to ask the town manager if she withheld anything, or that's really not a question for me. I wouldn't know what she did with documents. We provide the BAA anything they ask for. I don't know what else to say. I mean, if they ask for something, you know, we get it to them as soon as they can. Certainly nothing was withheld with any malintent or anything like that. And the attorney then starts to go another area, and Todd interjects. I know one of the is actually their charter book. So it's not something you can really copy because it's a bound book. So, you know, I'm assuming that maybe that's one of the things. And when it was given to the town manager, when it, you know, originally given to us, they said they wanted the stuff back because, you know, it's a book type material and stuff and everything. So it was never the intent of the town to keep it. I don't think Moose Club has it back yet. Do they? Does anybody hear from the Moose? Do you have any of those documents yet?
I was one of the representatives that was at the meetings with them, and we gave them 5 years worth of my own personal calendars of everything we do. I had to go and I got the stuff back from Todd. He personally handed it to me.
When was
Just maybe 4 months ago.
Okay.
Those just my calendars, but all the other paperwork, like we put in our letter to you guys, was for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying that.